Okay, so today we're going to take a deep dive into this audio piece we found called Dawn's Daily Delight.
Right?
And it's like one of those motivational kind of things, you maybe listen to first thing in the morning.
Yeah, like a little pep talk to get your day started.
Exactly. Yeah, and we're interested in like what are the core ideas here? What's the message that's really trying to hit home?
Yeah, like how can we unpack this and see what makes it tick as a
Exactly.
motivational piece?
Totally.
So right off the bat, one thing that jumps out is how it uses this whole idea of dawn, like the sunrise,
Right.
but it's not just about the time of day.
Right.
It's like a symbol. It talks about like a beacon of brightness and this wonder you wield with each waking whisper. It's really setting up this idea that like
Yeah.
waking up is about so much more than just like,
Yeah, it's about like potential.
yeah, exactly. Like that first moment of consciousness is like a huge opportunity.
Right. And then it goes on to say, every sunrise sings a serenade of second chances of canvas, clear for your colorful choices.
I love that line.
Yeah, it's so
The
good.
canvas clear.
Yes.
That's powerful.
Right, because it's not just a new day. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, here you go. You get to decide what's on this canvas.
Exactly. And I think that's really smart. From a psychological standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
when we mark a new beginning, even if it's just, the start of a new day,
Right,
it gives us this feeling of control,
Yeah.
a sense of optimism.
right.
Like we can separate ourselves from yesterday's, setbacks or whatever.
Yeah, totally. And then it goes on to talk about how magic meanders in the simple splendor sleeps,
Oh,
which is such a poetic
I
way
love that line.
of saying like, hey, slow down.
Yeah,
There's wonder in the ordinary.
like in the stillness.
Yeah, in those quiet moments before the day really gets going.
Yeah, I think that's so important because so often, we're chasing these big experiences,
Right.
like these huge things, but this is reminding us that like magic can be found in the everyday.
Right.
We just pay attention.
Exactly.
Just take a moment to notice.
Yeah, it's a good reminder for sure.
Yeah.
So then it describes each day as an elusive ensemble of experiences, earnest endeavors, and enlightening encounters.
Right.
Which is quite a mouthful.
Yeah, but I think it's really highlighting that our lives are multifaceted. It's not just about checking things off a to-do list.
Right.
It's about what we're striving for.
Yeah, what we're learning.
Yeah, and I think that word ensemble is key.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all these different things coming together.
Right, like an orchestra.
Exactly. And by saying earnest endeavors and enlightening encounters, it's like subtly encouraging us to approach the day
Yeah.
with intention
Yeah.
and an openness to learn and grow.
Exactly. And then there's this really strong call to action. It says, cherish chance to chase here and champion a charmed chapter daily.
Yeah,
Like, don't just let the day happen to you.
right.
Go make something of it.
Absolutely. And I think those words chase and champion are really interesting there.
Mm-hmm.
They're very active.
Yeah.
They imply that like creating a positive day takes effort.
Right.
It's about actively engaging and making things happen.
Totally. And then finally, it all comes down to this really simple affirmation. It says, awake, arise, appreciate, alive.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like a forward recipe
Yeah.
for a mindful start to your day.
And each one of those words is so powerful.
Right.
Awake isn't just about opening your eyes.
Right.
It's about being present.
Yeah.
Arise is about taking action, taking that first step.
Yeah.
And then appreciate shifts our focus to gratitude.
Right.
And alive is just like this reminder to be fully engaged with the present moment.
Yeah. So when we really boil it down, this Dawn's Daily Delight piece,
Yeah.
it's about recognizing that each new day is full of potential,
Right.
finding beauty in the small things,
Yes.
actively shaping our experiences, and starting the day with a sense of presence, purpose, gratitude,
Yeah.
and, really being alive. So as you go about your day to day,
Yeah.
think about, which of these elements.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that canvas clear idea.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's that mantra, awake, arise, appreciate, alive.
Yeah.
Think about which of these could be a touchstone for you today.
Yeah. I think it's a great takeaway.
Yeah, cool.
Just something to keep in mind as you go about your day.
All right, well, thanks for joining me on this deep dive into Dawn's Daily Delight.
Yeah, this was great.
It was fun.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
All right, we'll catch you next time.
See you later.